Friends, hello and welcome back. Hopefully you're having a lovely day. So we are looking at some of the hot game days. We seen was last weekend they released hot game days and said, hey, these guys are going to start in 83. Every shot they get is a +1 on the overall. One of the best game day situations we've seen of the year. And all of a sudden, the eyes are opening. All of a sudden it's like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should consider looking at some of these hot game days. Because before, there's an 82 for a long time. It's like, oh, if they win, you get a +1. If they get a goal, they get a +1. It's like, yeah, the odds, even if they got a hat trick, it's like the card still wasn't the greatest. And it was a gamble. But now we're looking at 83s. And we're looking at the chance of these guys, we're looking at the highest overalls that most of these have gotten so far. A few 87s and 88s. So right now the ceiling is, hey, you buy an 83 and you can sell for 40K. You can sell for 50K. That's the ceiling. And all of a sudden you have to start questioning. It's like, hey, is it worth investing in some of these players? And I think there's a couple of things we have to ask ourselves. First of all, what's the going rate, right? Seeing some of these guys 7K, 5K, they're kind of expensive. They're kind of really expensive right now for cards that are, a smidge bit irrelevant now. But anyway, it depends on what you're paying for them. If you can get them for 4K, you can get them for 5K. Then, even now we're seeing now, like, even once their event's over, even at their 4 or 5K, they're still going for a pretty penny. It's like for 4 or 5K, absolutely. Because they even if they only get one, they only get a +1, they're an 84. And 84 is going to go for 7K, 8K. So you're almost doubling your coins. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, they get 2 or 3 shots. And I think that's important too. It depends what the situation is. If it's, your team wins, then their ceilings are 1 goal or +1. It's like, yeah, then I'm not really that interested. If it's, hits isn't a bad one depending on the player. You have to do some research, see if the guy's a big hitter or not. Could be worth it depending on the hitter. Shots is one of the best ones I think possible. I mean, if you can manage to get, and a lot of people still don't pay much attention to the hot game day, so maybe you can snipe one on the 59-minute mark. But if you can get a hot game day player and their thing for the day is hits, and it is shots, and it is a player that shoots a lot. I mean, you're talking 85, 86. And if it's somebody known to shoot 2+ times a game, which, it can be tough to see those come across, but it's like they're known to shoot twice a game. All of a sudden, you're looking at a card that you feel like is a lock to be 10K, a lock to be 15K, a lock to be 20K. If they get to an 86. Then you say anything from like, about my rule of thumb, I think, is, I'd like to buy something where I feel like the upside is at least, 40%. 35-40% upside, because you have to factor in a gamble you're taking here that doesn't go up at all. So it's like if a card could get up to 10K, I would feel okay paying 6K or 7K if you feel really confident in going up that price. Same story if you feel like it's going to go up 1 to +75, 7,500. I feel okay paying 35, paying 4K for the player. Maybe 45, depending how confident you feel in that team. If it's a win situation, how confident you feel in that team winning that night. But I do think it is purely a situational thing. I still would always avoid the goaltending, but it really depends what they're going to throw down there. I think there's nothing you can beat better than shots. Hits is a good one just for the pure fact that if you can do the research before other people do, you might be able to get ahead of the game on that one. But all of a sudden, I do think, it's a quick investment. You don't hold on to them long term by any stretch of the imagination. Buy them second they get their points, their upgrade, see the price peaking, get rid of those suckers. I wouldn't wait more than a couple of days for them, because I don't see a lot of people actually using these cards. So I don't think there's a lot of demand other than trading sets, other than them going up in price. And that's kind of what you're valuing in here. It's like, again, some of these guys, 87 overall, 45K, there's probably an 86 in here somewhere. How is that happening? How am I getting 87 when I'm putting 83s? Did he just upgrade? Oh, no? I don't understand. Oh, well, anyway. But I haven't really seen, a lot of people using these cards, like I was saying. So they're not highly sought after right after their upgrade. So it's one of those things. It's almost like how fantasy hockey cards are, Evos used to be. It's like you want to get rid of them while people are buying them right off the bat. Because once they sit there for a few days, you can have a hard time selling some of these. Nonetheless, though, that is our thoughts. All of a sudden, again, showing some interest in the hot game day cards later in the year. I like it. I like what they're doing here. Love the all thoughts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.